Hello, SpeedGaming. Welcome to No Logic Tournament, SimpleClips versus Muffins. This is a lower bracket match. And currently, this is their game one. This is their first time racing each other. It's also our second round 2 matchup, so for losers bracket. So we had JD, Silvergun, and Doomtap racing yesterday, and the same layer we have SimpleClips and Muffins racing today. Well, looks like we'll be off very soon. Alright, nothing exciting in the opening chess. Oh, bad RNG for the guard. You have a couple options here. You can either stand in front of him and make him back up and then get him off screen, or you can decide to go somewhere else. So SimpleClips does the opener from the bridge to Ice Rod Cave. This is a pretty standard no logic opener. It's more common in no logic because we don't care about Orphaning Zora. We usually choose not to spend the money there even if we have it. Muffins picking a different route starting from Sanctuary. This is more of a farming items and resources route. So SimpleClips is doing a route that doesn't require any resources. And Muffins is doing a route that gets you resources. But ultimately, they're all mostly going to do the same things. They're just going to do them in different order. I did not catch what was on Lumberjack, but I would be very surprised if we see a dead Aga in this race because we have yet to see one in the tournament. Ooh, nice lamp. This is, I guess, the benefit of taking this route via Lumberjack to the mountain is that Muffins will actually have a lamp going into the old man cave. But that's not the only reason we like lamp in no logic. It can also be an important variable setter for certain glitches. Well, SimpleClips did spy a big key on the island, which I expect to see him go back for. We usually don't bother with small keys that are out of the way, but big keys are usually worth it. Oh no! Gets stuck on the dead rock and dies. But that's okay, because you started the old man when you die. Both of these routes have risk, and mostly involving enemies that can just completely ruin your life. And not even your fault. You just get really bad RNG and you don't have anything to defend yourself. Your choices are like to either have superhuman reflexes or select buffer around them or just get lucky. Alright, nice dodge of that dead rock. It was being very threatening while Muffins was turning in the old man. Meanwhile, SimpleClips will also be getting the Meyer Big Key from Bonk Rocks. Turns out that Island Big Key was Ice Palace, which is... it's one item. It's not really that important. It's kind of funny to see Muffins like dash out, and that's pretty much betting on this item not being bombs. But I think it is a little bit optimal because he doesn't have to wait out the bomb explosion. It's a clever way to do this. So the red rupees on the crabs are a pretty good resource, although SimpleClips isn't valuing getting all of them now, like Muffins did. It's good to know that they're there for later if you do run into money issues. This is one of the most expensive modes to play. You often spend a lot of money on potions and bomb upgrades and arrow upgrades. Yeah, so Lumberjack is a small key. That is the epitome of 2 out of the way. Nobody's going to go to Lumberjack for a small key. I think even a big key would be left behind unless they have... Like, my go mode is either the Meyer big key or something else. And maybe that's the Meyer big key. They might go for it because you can get Aga dead pretty quickly, but killing Aga has consequences. But even that small key, which is, it's right there, right? You can just go get it. We might not get it. Maybe on the way to Pod, maybe on the way to Eastern. Yes, I'd love to see a free lamp. Apparently our crew for the other race that's happening right now are watching this race. If you want to see more No Logic, SpeedGaming 4 is restreaming the other race. Yeah, that race is between Nobly and Gabriel Campos. Oh, you're waiting? Oh, no. Well, if you want to watch that race in an hour, it might be happening at the end of this one. SimpleClips is doing the same thing. I've never seen this before. Bombing the graveyard ledge before, but not actually getting it, just committing to the second trip. Really nothing turning out for either runner except the lamp. The lamp's not super useful yet. It does make an early trip into Pod a little more appealing, because the dark maze can be pretty hard to navigate if you don't have a sword. Oh no! I think Muffins is... Nah, it looked like he could have maybe gone into the shallow water, but he's just a little bit too far. I don't think he actually got to see the item. So they converge on South Shore because what else are you going to do? You're not going to do Kakariko, right? It's far too early for that. A little rupee farming. Just once. I guess he wants to buy exactly 2 of each upgrade. Oh, come on. Not only did the Octorok get in his way, but it got in his way just a few frames too late for it to be killed by the bomb. Muffins trying to be optimal with these and just getting terrible RNG. You usually expect that Moldorm in the middle to come down, so you want to place the bomb down, but sometimes it doesn't. Alright, the flute here justifies putting off Kakariko. The mirror justifies putting off the escape. Dual select buffers. Who makes it first? So interesting choice not to go to... Oh, Muffins really wants to see the item. Huh. He's gonna... Oh, that's not good. Ooh, good catch on, like... on saving, though. Holding select. Muffins really wanted to see the item and sacrificed the ability to come onto land. Because he also wanted to get the upgrades. But it was successful in either, because that swim is actually really hard. It also would have been hard to get the item if he got there. He would have to swim clip into the item with all the Zoras shooting at him, which would also be dangerous. If he had gotten hit there and like allowed himself to, you know, not had his button pressed at the right time, he would have probably had to wait at least a minute to resolve the transition before being able to save and quit. Oh, some kind of rod. I think it's a fire rod. What is it with the rods? You just can't tell them apart on the restream screen. They always look gray. Yeah, the viewers can see better than us, so if you saw that it was an ice rod, I believe you. Oh, it looks like Muffins came here with one bomb and wasn't able to get all of the bomb checks. And instead of dropping down here blind, he just went and bought some. In Keysanity, you're a little less likely to get bombs in these places. Also, Muffins going up the wrong way in the back of, well... Wow, I can't believe that's not a fire rod. Oh no! Never talk to the running man. Never talk to him. Oh, he talked to him twice! Last night we got a runner hit by the pink ball twice on Death Mountain while trying to clip to TR, and today we have Muffins in solidarity talking to the running man twice. Very good. Ooh, SimpleClips making use of the ice rod and getting refunded. So this is kind of lame. Like, you get into here and you can't actually get to Thieves Town except by waiting 1 to 2 minutes for a mirror door. So SimpleClips will just do the old quadrant glitch to get to the desert right side and not worry about Thieves Town Attic. Okay, so Muffins chooses the mirror door. I'm going to assume that he picked up a pot. I'm really hoping he picked up a pot after opening the chest and not before, because opening the chest will reset your variable to the 1,000-year door. I guess we'll find out in about a minute or two if Muffins is actually successful at getting a normal mirror door. Okay, it was successful. If it wasn't successful, it would have taken 18 minutes, and we would find out at some point when Muffins hard resets his game. Okay, so a few items were collected. We really like to see a mushroom because it is... normally we really like to see a mushroom because it is like an alternative to the lamp for a certain variable setting, but we have the lamp, so the mushroom is just a fetch quest. Maybe 2 if you want to get creative. The glove is also kind of just a fetch quest too. Like, there's a couple of rural locations where it's good to have a glove. It's good for navigating the Dark World if you have a Moon Pearl. It makes it easier to get to the south. And if you're doing Ice Palace and you also have a hammer, of course, it makes it possible to do without glitches. But usually you're missing one or the other. Like, you're usually missing the hammer and most seeds, so the glove is not as exciting as it would be. Big key of Ganon's Tower in the Hera lobby, which is one of the keys that opens doors in Cave State. When you're in a cave, the big key doors check for certain keys arbitrarily. Those keys are specific ones, and GT is one of them. So that means that they don't have to go to like the Hyrule Castle to be able to open the pod big chest, which might be the reason SimpleClips is going here now. He might not have gone here otherwise. Ooh, we cannot survive Kiki Skip, so I guess we will just do, a little fairy heal and then go back down. Oh my gosh, okay. What is Muffins doing? This is a glitch called Blockbuster. I think Muffins is doing this for Tam. This is going to lead to hammer pegs if he's successful. What he's done is he has mirrored on a specific frame while pushing the block, and he knew he was successful because it didn't make the mirror sound. Meanwhile, SimpleClips gets a sword from pod. It's not a dupable sword, sadly. At least, not that I know of. But Muffins, it's successful. He also sees the mushroom. He's gonna pick this up out of principle, I think. He wants to be able to say he actually got the hammer pegs item. Because it's in one of the single entrance caves, the exit does just lead where you came in, so Muffins will still be able to get the mushroom here. Nicely done. And also, like, not that bad. Like, it's kind of a meme to do that, but that was a pretty fast way to do hammer pegs, and if that was something good, it's not something he would expect his opponent to ever find. Even when you have the hammer and moon pearl, you're probably not bothering with hammer pegs. You usually have better things to do. So good thing SimpleClips came in here with the cave state big key because the flippers are in the big chest. Swamp is a crystal, it's really good to have the flippers. Skipping the flippers can be pretty arduous. Muffins is just absolutely haunted by this Zora Ledge item, but I think he should stay out of the water. Okay, we're just gonna leave. We're gonna do Zora Dime. We're gonna fly. I don't know what we're doing. He could have still checked the item. Maybe it's something good and he actually wants the item. Because I don't think he would be this persistent if it was just to peek the item. He'll also get to do Zora itself. Which is one of those turn lemons into lemonade plays, where you messed up this play, but if Zora is something, then your opponent probably didn't get it. Then you should probably buy the Zora item. Even if it does cost money. It was just a red rupee. Okay. I wonder why he is so haunted by this. And this is just bombs. Might as well pick them up though. I guess 6 bombs is enough. If you're going to pod it is, because you can get them back pretty quickly. But yeah, there's a lot of time loss for Muffins, unfortunately. Hopefully he can get back on his feet. It looks like he might be a little bit flustered. And I can say that because I also had a race where a disaster at the Ice Rod Cave area made me pretty flustered and I had to come back from it. So I know how that feels. This is going to be probably the bomb upgrade, which is why he didn't care about the 3 Zora bombs. He's just going to buy more here. Okay, wow, both people converging at back of escape. I'm surprised SimpleClips didn't do Helmosaur while in pod. He had everything he needed for it. I understand not continuing to Hookshot Cave, but I'm very surprised about not doing pod. Because the mirror makes Helmosaur pretty fast. Like, it doesn't get any faster than that, except for the actual killing Helma part, and I think he had plenty of health at the time, too. He's going to turn in the mushroom, because the mushroom is useless when you have the lamp. And we get a fire rod. The mushroom is definitely more useful as a fetch quest in this seed, which is rare. Usually we don't turn that in at all. Alright, what is Muffins getting off the ledge? Just a map, but it is a good map. It's the map of Eastern. How did he get here? He bomb juked out of back of escape. Or he mirrored. I actually not sure, but I think he was just in back of escape and bomb juked. Because I didn't see him set up a mirror portal. Yeah, that's true. The fire rod is unambiguously red. The ice rod is like ambiguously red. Okay, another bomb juke, this time in Eastern, gets to the big key chest. Let's see if we can even see what it is. SimpleClips will fix it. It's a 50 rupee. And a boomerang. Boomerang is conditionally exciting. It's only exciting if we also get a hook shot. Otherwise, it's not that interesting. A bottle? I'm trying to think of how you would dupe that bottle if you wanted to. I think you just don't bother, even if you can. It shouldn't be hard to, but at the same time I don't think it's worth it, unless it puts you in go mode. But it's a good habit to think of, like, hey, if I find this item that might be my go mode later, how would I get that twice? And there are ways to get items twice in this game. Usually they involve closing chests by copying data from one room to another. In Muffin's case, his method would be to put a potion in that bottle and come back here, and that would be quite slow. The SimpleClips did just the items in Eastern. Wasn't actually able to get the boss. If he wanted to get the boss, I think he would need that bottle from the escape, and then he'd have to come in through a backdoor method from a cave to unlock the door. There's also a bow in Saha's closet, which is pretty funny. Not actually that. Normally you'd be mad about that, but since SimpleClips didn't have the big key of Eastern, didn't have a way to unlock the door from the front, it didn't matter that the bow was there. I'm trying to remember where the sword was. Right, it was in Pod. So Muffins would have to go to Pod. Muffins is going to... Oh, Muffins is going to Thieves Town. But doesn't have a weapon for blind. Now, hopefully he finds one. If not, he might just unlock the doors and escort the maiden and then drop her off. Oh, there's a sword here the whole time on the East of Mountain. This sword is also dupable, but you'd have to come here already with a potion, and you have to also have not opened the Spectacle Rock item, which they would have done because it was the lamp, so not really useful in this seed. I didn't realize this was our first time on East Death Mountain. I think the lack of weaponry has put them off a little bit. Muffins has already opened the door, but is just dropping off the maiden because he can't actually fight her right now. So he'll just drop her off and then walk out. He did LSD blind to make sure that he could walk out, because that does stick the door open. I've tried duping the sword from the other side, and it doesn't work. It messes up your collision in a way that I wasn't able to figure out how to get around. Cane of Samaria just sitting here on East Death Mountain too. That's something SimpleClips probably thinks he's late to this, but actually he's the first one to get it. I think the problem with trying to overworld YBA towards the right is that the screen to the right is a small screen, and you're on a big screen, and that makes it not work. Or at least makes it the screen that you're on not very navigable. Oh, there's another sword in... I'm assuming that was Paradox Cave, where SimpleClips found that. Now he's just heading to probably Skull Woods. He's in a really good position to be close to go mode, so he's not actually in go mode because he doesn't have like any bottles. And I'm pretty sure there's at least one glitch here where he would want a bottle for. But all he has to do is go to the escape. And he might need one more bottle for some things. There's some glitches where you do want to have 2 bottles for, but when you have the cane, that often negates the need to do those glitches at all. SimpleClips also hopefully will find the hammer that Muffins just found in C-shaped house. Okay, so no, he's actually not going to the Dark World. He is sending up an offset mirror portal. Yeah, so he's doing it now. He's doing the escape. It's a good use of like the mirror and flute combination. Yeah, so one thing that I'll want the bottle for probably is there's 2 in 3 chance that Muffins or that SimpleClips doesn't have the medallion from Misery Mire, which we just found out on Muffins' end is a crystal and is required. And what that means is that you have to get the crystal and the boss. And it's easy enough to get the boss. There's a lot of places where you can enter Mire from other dungeons and get to Vitreous. But to actually get the crystal without the medallion, you have to do some pretty complicated stuff. Involving door transitions that change your dungeon ID and so on. And that sequence begins with a wrong warp from Pod to Hera that requires a bottle. There is like another method that very few people actually know how to do that involves a quadrant glitch that he might be able to pull out, but I don't know if he knows it. So unfortunately, SimpleClips did not actually go into the escape when he was there. So I'm curious what he was actually doing. I saw him go into the waterfall. I have to assume he also did the uncle while he was there, but didn't do the escape. Because I saw him get the map on the ledge. Probably mirrored and did uncle. If he misses that escape bottle, he might be in trouble. Meanwhile, Muffins has a slightly less comfortable go mode situation unless he goes to East Death Mountain. Obviously he needs a sword, right? East Death Mountain will solve most of his problems. And he will also go to Pod at some point because at least he knows it's a crystal. And that's where the other sword is. I think Thieves Town, which Muffins was able to clear because of a hammer in Village. I think that was a crystal, but I'm not sure. Yeah, this key is almost not worth it. Because he has to clip on top of his portal to get in as a bunny. I mean, he doesn't literally have to, but it's a lot harder to not do that. SimpleClips doing Statue Dragon Pod. If he watches this back, I want to tell him you do not need to start that high. Dragging down, go partially into the door and then start dragging. You'll save a ton of time. Okay, pretty smart of SimpleClips to use walks. Most of us will just like dash down to get through the doors, but there's some pots there that you can bonk into, and if you bonk, then the trick doesn't work. So he walked and ran into the pot, but didn't bonk because he was walking and was able to complete the trick. Unfortunately, he seems to have a little bit of trouble actually killing Helma, but he has the cape, so is able to pull it off with the tempered slashes at the end. Muffins, meanwhile, he was clipping to Bumper Ledge not just to get the small key, but to get a link state. Wait, dependent? Muffins is in the light world when you check the map. So actually the crystals were desert and eastern, not Mire and Pod. Oops. Turns out Pod's a pendant, which is really bad for Muffins if he knows that. Because he wants to get the sword that's in Pod, and he probably wants the flippers too. This is not my first time being fooled by a fake Dark World map check. It makes me wonder if Muffins is also fooled by it. Yeah, I didn't finish explaining how Muffins actually got his link state, but he got the item on Bumper Ledge, and then he teleported off of it to retain his Super Bunny state. He couldn't have jumped, because jumping would break it. And then he pulled the tree to actually get link state. He also gets rewarded with the mitts on Stumpy. Mitts are nice. It's a really quick way to get to Ice Palace from a save and quit. Just float there and go in. It's easily the fastest way available to them. And even better without a Moon Pearl. You can't use like Mirror Wrap. So he's gonna end his link state here. Small key to Castle Tower. An attempted chest turn, and just a bunch of junk in the back of Hype Cave. He might walk out and check the bomb shop to see what the red crystals are. Meanwhile, SimpleClips is doing a juke to Hookshot Cave. Surprised to see him walk all the way out. I think it works just as well if you do. Looks like Thieves Town and Swamp are red crystals. Thieves Town we already have, and Swamp is the other one, which is good knowledge because Muffins is missing items he needs to do Swamp. He actually doesn't have enough stuff for Swamp right now, even if he were to get all the swords. He could probably do Swamp if he were to go to East Death Mountain and get the cane. I hope that's where he's headed right now, but given that he's climbing this way, I think he might be going to Pod. Which is also fine. SimpleClips makes it to Hookshot Cave. So the door juke broke his transitions in a certain way. You're not supposed to transition that way, but I think it's fine if you do. Okay, good. I think he might be a little confused about where he is. Okay, now he knows. He also didn't get the good camera, making it a little harder to navigate this area. I guess now is the time where we find out if SimpleClips is a hover. So if I were him, I would walk out of Hookshot Cave and then back in, just to make sure, to keep the camera fixed, because right now he's gonna fall and... Wait, transitioning up fixed it? I learned something. Hey, so he fixed his camera and then he went back up to the door, and I wasn't sure why he was doing that, but apparently it keeps your camera locked so that you don't break your camera when you fall. You don't think it's that? I've never seen that fixed before, so that was the only thing I could think of. Okay, Muffins seems to be pretty excited about the flippers. He might have been a little bit worried about it. Ooh, SimpleClips is setting up an index. I wonder what he's going to use it for. I mean, it can really only be overworld conveyor. Well, he didn't correct it before he went down. So he's gonna do a Samaria Blast conveyor. This is like an old school method. I mean, my very first overall conveyor tutorial teaches this method, but there are easier methods now involving placing like a slot 0 Samaria block, which blocks one of the 2 slots that the bombs can go in, making it really easy to mislot a bomb. This is a good way for SimpleClips to get into Laser Bridge without the Moon Pearl, is just be in fake Dark World and Overworld conveyor in. And he doesn't even have to worry about death warping. One of the benefits of doing this is that he can go back in as a bunny using a mirror app. And the bomb wall is open, so he doesn't have to be Link. Oh, and I didn't think about this. He can just literally just kill Trinex right now if he wanted to. So he probably will. He'll kill Trinex, maybe get Crystal Roller first, kill Trinex, and then go back in and get the front checks. It's pretty cool. I haven't seen this early TR play before. This would actually be his first crystal if he went for it, if it does end up being a crystal. So Muffins has a similarly dangerous Trinex fight, but for different reasons. He has the hammer, but doesn't have a sword, so he has to do these hammer hits, which is, at least he has a sword, so he can get hook speed, or spin speed on it, but, the sword he has is pretty weak and not really able to actually, like, easily harm Trinex. So, the best use of that sword was to actually just get spin speed for the hammer. SimpleClips is going deeper into Turtle Rock than I expected. He can make it all the way to Chomps without spending any keys, which is kind of cool because if he thinks about it, he can mirror and kill Trinex. And that gets him past this key door. So he can do all of TR with just 1 key. Minus the big chest. Oh, and a hover for Muffins. Muffins is a very adept hoverer. Okay, we are mirroring. We are menuing all the way across to get to that mirror. Okay, I should not have called him a very adept hoverer and jinxed his attempt here. This is a really difficult hover because it's not just that you have to hover, but you also have to hover like pixel perfectly in 2 directions, which is pretty bad. Or at least maybe it's just 1 direction. This is interesting. I think he's fine, right? You can just use the pit state. Oh, Sky, tell me what's happening. I've never seen that before. Could he have saved that? He was too high up. Okay, I got that, but could he have saved that? Oh no. He's gonna keep going. The problem with Muffin's situation is that he's missing the bow. Which I forgot what the bow was. But it's not easy for him to get to the right side of pod from pod state. We'll have to mimic clip. Okay, SimpleClips gets Trinex down and gets rewarded with knowledge that it is in fact a crystal. But between the runners, I think we are down to 2 dungeons. That could be our last pendant. That's Hera and Meyer. It's not... Wait. Okay, I saw a map check and I missed it. I don't know if there was any new information on it, though. Okay, so Muffin's solution to this is do the quadrant glitch. That makes sense. Because the quadrant glitch acts like a potion camera unlock. As you can see, his camera is super unlocked right now. And he'll be able to push the mimics off screen just by camera manipulation. And then we'll probably see some more hover attempts for him, which will probably be successful because he's clearly like able to do the hovers. He just, that hover in particular is difficult in its own way. This is also annoying, getting the mimics off screen. He didn't have a very good weapon for the first mimic, the green ones that were near him, so he kind of had to clip all 3. The one downside though is you can't get that chest that's on Arena Ledge with the quadrant glitch. It's one of the advantages to doing the hover is that you can get there and then juke and get all the checks. Hovering there and then juking is the fastest way to get to Hookshot Cave and get all the checks. Okay, SimpleClips making his way to Village is going to find the hammer here, which is good. I think SimpleClips just paid the chest game guy. There we go. You always want to check your Super Bunny first. Muffins has... Okay. Muffins has faced the consequences of doing Blockbuster like an hour ago. I didn't realize it was that persistent. When you've done Blockbuster, which is the trick you did in Checkerboard Cave, it does something to stair transitions in the underworld that can cause you to... I don't understand what's actually happening. I think it has something to do with just like a diagonal stairs effect. It doesn't seem to actually do anything like illegal out of bounds stuff, but it is a little inconvenient. It makes you go invisible and makes you kind of lose track of where you are. Okay, so Muffins, the important thing though is that he's finally getting his Cane of Samaria and 2 swords that are on East Death Mountain. Assuming it does check the island, he does have to exit this cave to get there. I'll have to start questioning if the 2 swords here and the cane put him in go mode. SimpleClips is doing Skull Woods. I think he's starting to get desperate for like a bottle or something. There are dungeons he can definitely do, but he doesn't have a good solution to several of them. Oh, and the Moon Pearl is here. Okay. That's a really nice item to find. Although it's less impactful given that he's already done like half of the Dark World and Turtle Rock. Does not look like SimpleClips will be going for... It doesn't look like SimpleClips will be going for the back of Skull. Instead chooses to take the Moon Pearl outside, fixing his fake world so that he can actually exit the Lost Woods and not just be in Hyrule. Muffins going back in to the Dark World. I think he will be mirror clipping into Turtle Rock. And possibly also full clearing it. I think he can do all of it with the keys he has from this side. And then he can also get the big chest. SimpleClips in Thieves Town does not have the big key, so he can only get the first 4 here. And if he wanted to do the whole dungeon, he would have to do basically what Muffins did from the escape earlier, or do it from Desert, with the Desert big key. I think the problem is that he probably wants a bottle for either of those methods. So he's still just searching for a bottle. Oh, apparently there's a desert small key that was missed. I don't think that will matter much. When you have the Key of Samaria, you can just do Deathhole Argus. But if you do have the desert small key, then it can be nice to swamp the other way, which is to do a transition corruption in the desert small key door. Because that gives you 3 additional items on the way to Argus that you wouldn't otherwise get. Muffins has the desert small. I'm not sure if we'll actually use it. I think Muffins is maybe closer to Gomo than SimpleClips is, but only by a little bit. Muffins will have to do a little bit more to clear Eastern. Oh yeah, the bow is in Saw's closet. He just hasn't been there. Does he even know Skull Woods' green pendant? Guess he has the map. That will keep him away from the Moon Pearl, but I think the Moon Pearl is mostly just wasting SimpleClips' time right now, so I don't think it will matter that much. Alright, Trinix going down for Muffins will be his second crystal. SimpleClips is being super thorough with the overworld. I think he really wants to lean on that find, the Moon Pearl and Skull. So bottle and purple chest, apparently. That's really good, and also vanilla. I don't think Muffins will hurt too much by missing that. I think he can probably do everything he needs with enough elbow grease. But SimpleClips is continuing to do overworld. I expect him to take this all the way to Hype Cave and check the Mire Medallion. One bottle is probably good, though. I want to go down the list now. Let's start at the Eastern. They can unlock the big key door with the Cane of Samaria. Muffins would have to also do a quadrant glitch or go to Saha's closet to skip the bow, or get the bow. Tower of Hera, big key door is in the way, so they either have to find the hook shot or they have to do a bottle-based wrong warp from Pod. That requires one bottle, but otherwise not very hard. Desert Palace, they can just do it. SimpleClips needs the bottle to do Thieves. If he doesn't know the door juke in Uncle Tavern, they're in the Uncle Cavern area. And Swamp Palace is just a death hole followed by swim back in and do some kind of mirror door or YBA to get to Hera. Ice Palace is free, especially for Muffins who has the mitts. And I would say SimpleClips also has the mirror and Moon Pearl, can just do a little mirror rock to get in. Not that hard. Misery Mire is definitely the hardest one of the dungeons that they haven't done, but also it's a 50-50 chance of just being a pendant. So I think both runners could be in go mode right now if they were comfortable with the glitches that they need to do, or if they just like think about it. Like, it could be that what Muffins is looking for is actually just knowledge of like whether he needs to do Mire or not. Oh, SimpleClips also has the mitts. Okay. Muffins getting the blue potion. I wonder what he's going to do with that. I don't think it's going to be a fake flute, because he's already been all over the Dark World. It's probably going to be a wrong warp. Although, why would he get a blue? So blue is expensive. He's kind of short on money. This does look like he's going to use it for Pod, though. So SimpleClips just going to walk to Ice. This makes sense. It's a free dungeon. Really not much left to make this faster, except maybe one small key. So I might as well do it now. I think what Muffins is going for here is an information play. I think he wants to know whether he needs to do Mire or not, and the easiest way to find out is to unlock Hera. And if he does need to do Mire, unlocking Hera is actually part of that process, so it's good that he's doing this regardless. In fact, killing Moldorm is part of the process. So regardless of what he's going to do, like, he does need to do this. The question is whether it's worth doing this now, or if he should just do his other dungeons. But I think what he's thinking is that he wants the knowledge before he has to make the decision about whether to go mode this dungeons or not. He does find a second bottle in the big chest. That will provide a really good level of comfort to the remaining glitches. I think 2 bottles in Cane plus the items he has are go mode now. I mean, there are definitely things that will help that would make the game faster for him, but he does, I think, now he probably will be shifting into more of a focusing dungeons and just doing things that are on the way. Why is he going up in pod state? Is he unlocking swamp? That might be what this is. So he's preparing for a lot of different dungeons at the same time. He's unlocking Hera to do Moldorm, and he's unlocking Hera Big Key Door to do Mire Crystal, and he's unlocking Swamp to do Swamp Crystal. That may have been an expensive blue potion, but he is getting a lot of mileage out of it. SimpleClips finds the wrong medallion, unfortunately. It's not the medallion that will make Mire faster. I missed what happened to Muffins. Went into the wall for free? Oh, did Muffins not actually unlock all the way? I think that's fine. He just needs to go into Hera. Because he's gonna do it through Hera anyway because he doesn't have the Moon Pearl. So this is fine. I guess it would have been better to do it from Desert. Because if he did Desert Argus, he could get warped to the front of Swamp and then just walk in and do it. In which case, then yes, he would have wanted to open it all the way. But I think he's just gonna do it from Hera. A little less efficient, but it works. If he were to do it from Desert, he would have to do a glitch called Death's Door, which might negate any efficiency he's getting out of doing it from there. So, doing it from here makes sense. He hasn't been here yet? Muffins has not been to the Hera lobby. Okay. That's pretty funny. That was SimpleClips' first cave state big key. But Muffins just did the escape. So SimpleClips completed Ice. I don't think he found anything. Although I saw something for Hera. I missed if it was the big key or the map. Or the compass. Well, it wasn't the map, because we don't have it. I think it was the big key. I think he's just gonna climb Hera. Yeah, there we go. That'll save him a potion. Look at this money disparity between the two. SimpleClips even has a Hera small key to unlock Swamp with. And he'll get his second bottle here too, which I also think could be go mode for him. We'll have to watch his behavior to see if it actually is go mode or not. But I expect for, just like with Muffins, because they do have more or less the same equipment, to start to shift into a dungeon priority state. I don't expect to see either of them, for example, go into Ganon's Tower unless they really stall out somewhere. The Muffins gets the good news. Mire is not an issue in this seed. Mire is a pendant. And I think that this will also be knowledge for SimpleClips. Just a few seconds after Muffins. So if that wasn't go mode, this certainly is. So now that they're both almost certainly in go mode, let's start asking the question of who's ahead. I think... So the difference right now between them is that Muffins has done Thieves Town and SimpleClips has done Ice. Otherwise, they're pretty evenly matched. SimpleClips will also walk into Eastern and probably delete the big key door. And then go back in and use the bow to hit through the normal way. Whereas Muffins has not gotten the bow and at this point probably won't get it. So he will have to do a few extra glitches in Eastern, but they're not They're not long glitches. If he gets it right, it probably won't even cost that much time compared to just going to Saha and getting the bow. Oh yeah, and the Moon Pearl, that's a good point. So, SimpleClips does have a movement advantage over Muffins in the late game. One of the things SimpleClips could do is when he does the Swamp Crystal, he will not have to pre-flood the dam. He can just walk out and in again. In fact, he might even do it from Desert, as I suggested. Because he has the Swamp Small Key. I actually don't remember where he got that, but apparently he has it and can just walk in the front of Swamp and do it. And the fastest way to get there would be to collect the Swamp Crystal from... or to collect the Desert Crystal from Swamp and then warp to the front of Swamp. So yeah, advantage SimpleClips. I would say that I think Muffins is a little bit ahead in just raw progress. SimpleClips also seems to be struggling a little bit with this glitch, but he does get it in the end. Yes, he did talk to the door. So Muffins got the Swamp Crystal, but still has to kill Argus because the rules state that you have to kill the bosses that have crystals. That's what he's doing now. He's attempting to set up something called Death Hole. He had to die a little bit less than that. So he will do Death Hole Argus by setting up to be basically on 1 hit point from a bomb. He has to get hit one more time. And he's gonna do a Samaria transition corruption in this door. And the sole purpose of that is to create pits to fall into. You can't see the pits, but they're there. And he's also mapping to load the correct palette, although he didn't need to because he died. It's a good habit to just always do it, so you don't have to think about it. So he's setting up on a very particular pixel, and he's going to item dash with a bomb, which is a normalized way to get a frame-perfect death on the pit. It means that he doesn't actually have to like manually time the frame. He just has to item dash in a specific location, and the death will automatically happen on the correct frame. This is the hard part of Death Hole, is that there's all these invisible pits around, and if you fall in them, you fail the trick and have to restart. And then you can also get hit by that sand lion into one of the pits, which can be a little scary. If you have trouble with that glitch, I recommend killing both sand lions before doing it. The other hard part of Death Hole Argus is reaching Argus without the hookshot. You still have to kill Argus, and it can be a little bit tricky to get Argus to phase, because you don't have as much camera unlock as you do with some of the other methods. It's really good to have the cape for this fight, as you saw Muffins using it. I think SimpleClips also will be doing Death Hole Argus here, and probably also Landmo. Unfortunately for Muffins, this crystal does put him a little bit far away from Landmo. I think if I was him, I would have killed Landmo first and then mirrored out of the boss room. He's using this to warp to the front so that he can go to Ice Palace. This is good routing, but I think I would have done Landmo first. If he didn't already do it. I don't think I saw him do it. The SimpleClips is doing Lammo first, and if he is doing what I think he's going to do, I expect to see him mirror out after the boss is killed, but before the crystal is collected. Because he wants that warp out to the front of Swamp, because he hasn't done Swamp Crystal yet. That's a good death hole text. But it's all cleared now. Yeah, when you death hole, you get some like extra text on your screen for a while, which is pretty funny. But dying again fixes it, unfortunately. Oh, and there's just a sword here the whole time. Alright. Oh no, SimpleClips gets the crystal. That's okay. He can just walk to Swamp. It's okay. So it looks like SimpleClips will, oh. He's doing Thieves Town. Oh, he's doing Thieves Town Attic. Oh, this is clever. So SimpleClips hasn't done this yet. There's a key in Thieves Town Attic that he can steal. And then doing this will also, it will delete the attic chest, but that's okay, as he's in go mode. But it will give him a chance to bomb the attic, and then he can also steal a key for Desert. If he wants to do Argus not with Death Hole, but with the other method, which is the transition corruption in the right side, he does need to be able to open that door. So as Muffins takes on Cold Stare, assuming, you know, this works out for both runners, SimpleClips will have Argus complete shortly after Muffins has Cold Stare complete. Muffins is missing Lambolas in Eastern Palace. SimpleClips is missing Thieves Town and Swamp Crystal. So it's really hard to tell who's ahead. SimpleClips does have to do Argus here, and that's going to take a little bit of time because he has to also walk to Argus from this spot. He gets the transition. You want to see that snappy transition when you go through, so that your transitions inside Swamp are also correct. He also has to go up these stairs to fix his tile set, to ensure that the door in the waterfall exists, among other things. I think I give slight advantage to Muffins, actually. Just because I think the things that SimpleClips has to do are slower. But, and I think the lack of Moon Pearl is not going to hold back Muffins very much, because all he has to do is clip to the middle of TR. And that's pretty easy to do as a bunny. I mean, he's already done it once. SimpleClips has to do a bunch of extra overworld movement to get to Swamp Crystal, and then also has to do Thieves Town, probably from either from Desert or from Uncle. I think probably from Uncle is the best way to do it if you're not already here in Desert, and he won't be because once he kills Argus, he'll be stuck in this room because he won't get a crystal out of it. So he'll have to save and quit out of this, regardless of where he is. Muffins getting Eastern Big Key door unlocked as well. This is one of the reasons we like the cane in No Logic. It's just so much you can do with it. Hopefully he remembers that if you fail that and you transition, you do have to talk to the door again. So it's good to see him doing that. actually forgot how much Muffins had to do in Eastern to do Eastern. Maybe underestimated how much time it would take. I forgot that the big key door unlock means you're basically double dipping the dungeon no matter what. But SimpleClips still has to go into Swamp and YBA to Hera, which is also a dip of a dungeon, and then he also has to do Thieves. When he does Thieves, he'll be in cave state, and we'll have to walk back in to get the crystal, and that will also be pretty slow. So again, I still give the advantage to Muffins in this seed. Muffins also has to do the quadrant glitch in Eastern. If he's successful, assuming he's successful. If he's not successful, that would definitely change things. But let's see, that was a really fast buffer. He seemed to trust it, so he went for it. That was a little bit more of a cautious buffer that I expect to see. We'll see in a second whether that worked or not. You definitely got at least one quadrant glitch. So you get this camera unlocking effect from the quadrant glitch, but you also get a good transition if you do it twice. Because the second quadrant glitch will fix the first one without fixing the camera. So you get all the benefits of the quadrant glitch without any of the downsides in the back of Eastern. And the purpose of the quadrant glitch is to scroll the Igors off screen. So I'm sure when Mimic Clip was discovered for Pod, or Potion Camera Unlock, somebody was probably thinking, can we also do that in Eastern? And the answer is yes, but only in no logic. But it took us a long time to get to this point. It used to be really hard to do Eastern without the bow. And now it's pretty trivial. But one of the hardest parts is you still have to fight the boss without the bow, which can be a little bit annoying. Muffins does not have a good weapon for this. In fact, if he had I think just spamming your fire rod when they're close together is probably a good idea. I was gonna say if he had a potion, it would almost be worth just drinking it for the beams. So SimpleClips is now working on his last dungeon. This is Thieves Town. Specifically, this is Blind. The first trip is Blind and the second trip is Thieves Town. So he's also doing a double dip dungeon. And the time difference is going to be probably between Muffins' clear of Back of Desert and SimpleClips' return into Thieves Town to get the crystal. I really hope Muffins remembers to do Landmo. Please go to 6. Okay, 2 is fine. I wonder what he plans to do with that. Okay, good. We get to beat the game. Legitimately. So SimpleClips gets the boss. Muffins attempts to go into Back of Desert quickly using the bomb. I was a little worried for a second that you'd have a bad slot 0 altitude, but actually visiting the potion shop would have fixed it if he did. It's possible to have one of the Armos Knights set a bad altitude value. But entering another underworld location that has a sprite in it will usually fix it. So, yeah, this is a really tight race, actually. SimpleClips is doing Walk to Blind and get the crystal, and Muffins is doing Landmo, which is also pretty fast. And, Hydrotide might be right that the Moon Pearl might actually be the difference maker in this one. And if it's even closer than that, the difference maker might have been talking to the Running Man twice. So yeah, look at this. We got SimpleClips first person into the boss arena. So yeah, lead to SimpleClips actually. I actually forgot how slow Eastern was going to be for Muffins. because he has to do all of those glitches just to clear the dungeon. Can't always predict what your like final boss dungeon is going to be in a seed. Turtle Rock is often the final boss dungeon, and in this seed it was like their first dungeon they did, and it was free. And Eastern is usually doable with minimal equipment, and it ended up being the slowest dungeon for Muffins. Like that, and like all the stuff he had to do to open Swamp and Hera Big Key, because he did this dungeons in a slightly the wrong order. By not getting the Hera Big Key, he had to do all that extra stuff in Pod. So Muffins didn't need that crystal. Muffins actually already had the crystal. He got it from Argus. The Muffins is getting a overworld conveyor. And he's using this method because he knows it. It's apparently this is a Muffins people. This is like a method people swear by. I haven't learned it yet, but you drown bombs in water to create a splash and use that to mislot a bomb. Oh, this is some good sync. But SimpleClips has the Moon Pearl, so we get to watch him be ahead. Muffins will be able to get in. It won't be too hard. But he has to Death Warp. Or it's very likely to Death Warp. I don't think he strictly has to. There's a different glitch he could do called Unbunny Beam. But at this low health, Death Warping is probably faster. SimpleClips is going to YBA and not Samaria Corrupt. That's surprising to me. I mean, he's still closer to getting there. This is so close. Muffins needs to refill magic. SimpleClips is the first person to fall into the lava. But Muffins is really close. And this might come down to who has the better Ganon and Aga fight. So far, SimpleClips' Aga fight is really good. So it's going to be a little bit hard for Muffins to... Okay. Muffins is also having a really good Aga. Okay, we have almost a tie. Because Muffins 2-cycled Aga. Let's go. Heck of a race. Muffins also climbs, saving a few seconds on the cutscene. And is now, I think, just a few, like a couple, 1 or 2 seconds behind. Oh man, look at those back crashes. 1 second apart. Bam, bam. Now it's going to come down to who has a better Phase 4 Ganon. Because they're both on Butter Sword. So Phase 1 and 2 probably won't make a difference unless SimpleClips, like, takes a hit. Which he really shouldn't, unless he's nervous, which I could easily see. Both runners are in Ganon, not having seen a finish. Muffins is actually the one struggling with Ganon here. Can he actually 1-1 this? Okay, he can. But the extra menu time costing him. SimpleClips also healing. Healing does cost time as well. Muffins has to be a little careful with his magic in Phase 4. He's going to have to do a lot more with the lamp than SimpleClips, because he used so much of the magic. Either that or he'd have to drink a potion. And I'm not sure he has. There's a lot of warps between those phases. The tiles are falling almost in sync. You have no bow dingus. SimpleClips has the bow. So gets to find out that there are arrows in the light world, possibly on the pedestal. Muffins taking out the fire rod. I hope he has a potion, because I think he needs one now. SimpleClips is having so far a really clean Phase 4, but is still using the lamp to light the torches. But Muffins will have to drink a potion to stay in this fight. He's currently quick swap into his other blue, but that, again, that refill takes time, so falls behind a little bit. I have lost count. I want to say SimpleClips is ahead in the fight. Alright, get that fire rod out. Clips feels ahead, but he's missing a lot of spins. I think Muffins is actually hitting more of the spins than SimpleClips is. And they- oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to retime this. Alright. We got two people in fanfare at the same time. Muffin's slightly higher up on the screen, and that might matter. I think Muffins is the first person in. Let's see what it says on race time. 1:25.05 for Muffins, 1:25.06 for SimpleClips. GG, incredible race. Hello.
Hello.
Don't make me retime this. I'm gonna make you retime this.
Oh my god.
I did make a joke earlier on that talking to the running man twice could actually make the difference. I'm glad that you pulled it out just for that reason alone. Because it would have been actually a little bit sad if it did.
Yeah. GG's simple. Clips.
GG's.
GG.
Oh my god.
Light World Silvers. You think that was Zora, Mimic Cave, or Bottle Kid?
Well, we know it wasn't Zora because we saw Muffins do it.
And I did Bottle Kid, so it has to be
Well, watch those credits. Watch those credits. It might be a pedestal or something.
Ah, yeah. Oh my god. I didn't find a single bow, so...
Saha's Closet.
Ah, yeah, okay. I realized I
other
hadn't
light-
gone there.
The other Light World bow.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It was really
just-
hard to tell who was ahead for like the last 3 or 4 dungeons, and you were all doing different things.
I assume Muffins maybe went to GT and got different things
Nope.
to get go mode. Nope.
So Muffins spent a little extra time with like, I think went to Zora's domain a lot.
Yeah.
I'll ask
I
you
was
about
not
that
allowed
later.
to get that item.
No. You really wanted it though, and I thought maybe you saw it and it was good, but I didn't see SimpleClips get it, so I was like, But I think actually SimpleClips, you had the bow, which made Eastern slightly faster, and then the Moon Pearl and Skullwoods, which I think actually probably lost you time and didn't gain you time, because you had to do... You did a whole bunch of overworld in the dark world. I think maybe the bottle in Purple Chest was your first bottle, so that was good.
It was.
But there was also a bottle... Where was Muffin's bottle?
It wasn't on the Skullwoods boss, was it?
No, I didn't even go
Didn't
into
do
the
any of
spell.
that.
Okay.
So Muffins had the bottle for quite a bit longer.
There was one in Escape.
Yeah, the escape. So SimpleClips did like no escape, but like only the overworld around it.
Right.
And we're like, okay, that's the bottle that he missed. But there's other bottles. I think you only needed one bottle in this seed,
Yeah.
and that was just to like.
Well, I wanted the
Juicy.
second bottle because I didn't know if Meyer was a dungeon that I
Yes.
needed to do yet.
I
Yeah.
think
That was
once
the
you
same for
found
me.
out, Meyer is a pendant, I think you actually didn't need any bottles.
No.
I think Muffins needed one to unlock Hera, but could have just done ice first and gotten the Hera big key there.
Yeah, and then I did unlock it, and then I got the hair big afterwards.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
that-
you could use the mirror instead of the bottle for like Swamp Crystal, for example. So
Yeah.
like this could have been a bottleless seed in another universe, but because you had to check all your crystals to see that Meyer was a pendant, it wasn't realistic to be in go mode until you had at least one. Like ideally 2, because you would need 2 bottles for Meyer.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that wasn't photo finish, right? Because basically, right as I was hovering over the done button was when I saw Muffin finish.
Yeah, at least we'll have to retime it because it was so close. On the restream, you could see Muffins enter the Triforce room first, but that's using like SpeedGaming timing. You know,
Yeah.
like the sync is to the second.
Yeah, and I don't know
and
if
this
you
finish was under a second. I think
do
we.
you auto track clips for your time.
No. I've
Okay, so
got
yeah,
I have to manually reach over and end my timer.
yeah, this
Yeah.
definitely needs
Timer is
retiming. And
always
Yeah.
yeah, my timer's always way off on the finish time because of that, because it's more important to finish on the actual race time than it is my timer.
of course,
Yes. That's why the timers look so different. But yeah, that's. We do have a rule that I think 2 seconds is our mods have to retime it, and we'll discuss that later. I actually don't have a high tech way to retime things except to look at VODs. So if you have like a VLC based frame timer, that would be super helpful.
Twitch has a frame timer,
Oh,
so we can use that as well.
sweet. I'll have to learn how to use that. So yeah, cool race. Definitely our closest one in the tournament, and probably will remain so.
Yeah, I at least got to show off Blockbuster.
Yes, and the consequences of it, like 30 minutes later in Super Funny Cave, were pretty funny.
Yeah. I was just invisible constantly.
Yeah, you kept falling in pits and being invisible, and I kept losing track of where you were.
Yeah. I was so worried I was in EG for a split second, then I realized, no, this is Blockbuster's fault. I'm just invisible.
I remember that happening in the first No Logic tournament to Tam, and we didn't know about it yet, so it was a little bit freaky.
Yeah.
I do find it funny that while I was going to Skullwoods, my thought wasn't, oh, I should have done Escape first. My thought was, oh, I should have went to GT first. I have Samaria and Fire on. If I didn't find anything in Skullwoods, I was going to go the wrong direction next.
With the lamp super early, and I was really hoping for Hookshot to turn up, but alas. No.
I think it's good for it builds character to not have the hook
Indeed.
shots, and what a better seed to have it than a Samaria seed. Like Samaria seeds are underrated. It's really fun to watch people just like open doors with the cane instead of ignore them with the hook shot.
Yeah, that's true. And where was Moonpearl?
I was in
Skull Big?
Skullwoods.
Okay.
In the Skull Big Key, I believe, was in Skullwoods.
Okay.
Like the last check you would get in Skullwoods.
Oh, that's right. So you go in without the big key and you find the big key, and that's the pearl. That's
Amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
I still think the Moon Pearl lost you time overall.
I'm not so sure.
It's hard to know because of the bottle was, it put you in go mode, or at least something close to it.
So what really lost me enough time to lose was continuing to farm rupees once I was already past 1,100 with 0 bottles.
I'm sure we can find a million things that cost 1 second in this race on both ends.
I was very concerned, like you said, about talking to the running guy.
You talked to the running guy twice, Muffins. So I think SimpleClips is in the clear here on little ways to waste time.
Yeah.
Do you know VTorp, by the way?
I'm really sad that I was in go mode when I did swamp from desert, because I learned a convoluted Samaria dupe for that chest to prevent deleting the chest in Steve Town.
Oh, somebody watched the race where where Ether was there, and
oh no, I didn't watch that race.
Somebody deleted their Meyer medallion in that chest. It was pretty funny. So one thing you could have done, SimpleClips, to make Swamp and Desert a little faster is if you had mirrored out of Landmo, then Argus would have given you a free warp to the front of Swamp, and then you could skip that whole overworld sequence.
Okay, I was debating which dungeon to do first, because I knew grabbing the prize would warp me to Swamp, but I figured being warped back to the desert entrance would be faster because I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot I could mirror there.
You can mirror specifically in Landmo and Armos arenas. It's weird. Those are the only dungeons that let you do that.
Okay, I didn't know that part.
Alright, well there's another race happening on SpeedGaming 4 right now. I recommend everybody watch it. They were kind enough to start late for us, so we can actually catch some of it. Unless it's over, then they're not. But yeah, I highly recommend we all head over there if we don't automatically get rated. Thanks for the very close race. I will be retiming this shortly. So GG's on both of you for winning.
Yeah.
GG's
GG's
again.
Clips. Thanks, Malmo and Sky, for comms and tracking.